Toga and Fatine were waiting for me at the school, along with a small group of survivors. First things first, I asked the lads what they needed from me this time round, to which they responded with, batteries. Big ones. Whatever they're doing needs a lot of juice. As for the other survivors, it looks like the mayor of Haran himself didn't manage to get out before the shit hit the fan. Errol Lasani asked me to take care of a group of Rise's thugs that's been trying to hunt him down. Looks like Rise sees him as a threat to his hold on power. I'll take any reason to knock some arrows into those numbskulls' heads any day. Errol told me to check the Slabs since it was his last known location. The Slabs is a collection of apartment buildings up in the northwest of town. When I got there, I found a group of dead survivors, one of them being Rise's guy. The radio he had on him was constantly going off, because Kareem was trying to get their attention. Though I said absolutely nothing, Kareem said for them to head to one of the nearby buildings to regroup. Gabriel Estate 5. Entering through the basement, as Kareem said, I didn't find trouble till the first floor. Bastards never expected me to show up with a police rifle and handmade grenades, but what you gonna do? Idiots chose the wrong side, obviously. I found Kareem on the third floor, and after a standoff, he explained what the hell was going on. Turns out he used to be Errol's bodyguard. When Errol got bitten, Kareem took him to a doctor in the slums, and they cut off his leg clean to prevent the virus from spreading. When Kareem heard Errol call over the radio for an evac out of the city, he wanted a seat out as a repayment for his work. Unfortunately, he's not gonna get that lucky. The best place to find batteries as strong as the twins are asking for was most likely the bus terminal on the northwest side of town. While I never enjoy putting myself in places with a shit ton of Zeds, let's just say I'm glad I had a bunch of firecrackers and the cloaking potions from Dahlia. Now, can people stop asking me to go into large-scale death traps? No sooner did I make it back to the tower to relax when the twins called me over the radio again. How in the hell did they manage to make it to the fishing village in such a short time? They have to be using a teleporter, I swear. This time they asked for 10 rolls of duct tape and 10 power cables. Haha, thanks, sanity, it's an easy one this time. All it took was a few minutes looting through the nearby edge of the slums to find what I needed. An easy job, till they asked me to travel to the makeshift checkpoint on the Infamy Bridge to get a military-grade sonar unit. Another fucking long-ass climb. Only made worse by the idiots saying they didn't immediately need it when I called them over the radio after getting it. I'll just hold on to it till they say they need it, I guess. God damn it, Raheem! Why did you have to be such a fucking stubborn kid? Jade gave the explosives we took from the school to Omar to keep them safe. Clearly that was a bad decision, because he let Raheem get into his head that we needed to blow up the largest volatile nest in the city. That was a 13-plus story building that was in early phases of construction. Yeah, it had to go, but Crane told him several times how he would be the one to do it. I overheard Crane tell Raheem to hide in the train yard after Raheem said things went to shit over the radio. Both of us booked it down to find him in one of the warehouses. The timers on the bomb already set for 5 minutes. Using a utility tunnel, Crane and I ran for the nest and split up. He took the second floor while I took the first, both of us barely making out of there thanks to the sea of Zeds slowing us down. Unfortunately, when we got back to the warehouse, we found Raheem had turned. We regrouped back in the tower to meet with Brecken in Alfie's workshop. Things went from bad to worse. First, Jade walked in on us, talking about Raheem, and not 2 seconds later, Zara's truck exploded into flames. Crane and I said fuck it, and had a shootout with the group of Rise's thugs that came to take Zara, but they had already thrown the doc into another van, and drove off before we got down there. We have no other choice. We have to try and save him, or else we lose him and his research. We took no chances. Both of us armed to the hilt with a rifle, SMG, and pistol, we ran for Rise's garrison. When we got there, the front of the building was locked up tight and completely deserted. Leaving us no option, we headed for the back of the building to climb the roof. They were expecting us! 4 goons armed with rifles on the ground and 4 more up on the roof. For some reason, the ones on the roof each only had a machete, but who am I to complain about things being easy? Crane! Crane! Quick, we gotta get out of here fast! Keep moving! We have to keep moving! So much for things being easy. We made it from floor 5 down to 4 with no hassle, but after sneaking up and silently killing 1 goon, we found the way blocked by a small group of them. I said fuck it and tossed one of the DIY grenades Alfie gave me down the hall to give them a bit of a wake-up call, and to let hell break loose. Nothing. We didn't find Zara anywhere in the building. We radioed Brecken, and he said there was an underground level and we should check there. That's where the real firefight broke out. Since they were using the underground parking garage as storage, there was plenty to hide behind, and we fought our way through. Zara was being locked up in a room in the back of it. As we were helping him, he made mention that he had already given the package for Camden to Jade before he was taken. It was at that point that the lights went out. It was an ambush. When the lights came back on, we were surrounded. Rise was using Zara as a way to get us to him and to get the doc to reveal what he had done with the research. After he got what he wanted, he told his men to throw us into the pit, a makeshift coliseum for Rise and his men to watch those unfortunate enough fight for their lives against Zeds that they've rounded up. Sick fucks. Stripped of our weapons, we were left to make do with the worthless scrap that was strewn around the pit. Wood planks, rusted pipes, rebar. We even had to get tricky and make use of the metal spikes set up around the place. The common Zeds were easy enough to deal with. The challenge came when they dropped a goddamn demolisher into the arena. A demolisher is a giant-ass Zed that looks like the Hulk got sick or something. They also have riot gear on them, which leads us to believe they were part of the police force once. Even with the 2 of us, it was a bitch to take down. Nearly came close to death more than once. Rise was impressed with us, but he wasn't finished fucking with us yet. He went on about how he knew Crane was an operative for the GRE, told one of his men to publish the file he stole that had details about the virus, and how said file revealed that the GRE wanted to weaponize said virus and sell it to the highest fucking bidder. So much information in such a short amount of time, I'm amazed my head didn't explode. Crane's anger, on the other hand, it looks like the virus is getting to him more since he managed to kill the 2 goons on either side of us, slice off Rise's right hand, and shoot the goon that was with Zara in the blink of a goddamn eye. Though we tried, Zara was already stabbed in the chest with a knife. We had to leave him and get our own asses out of there, hell or high water. Though banged up, we made it out of the pit, but our problems weren't stopping there. Crane began having more seizures while we were trying to get back to the tower, to the point he passed out on me. Amazingly, I lugged his ass to the tower, and Brecken helped me get him to the ferry pier to keep the both of us safe from Rise's men. After Crane woke up, Brecken filled us in on what the hell was going on. Turns out the airdrops stopped 36 hours ago, and Jade managed to get into Sector 0 thanks to the help of a group called the Saviors. He told us where to meet them, down in the cauldron. By the sounds of it, it's time for us to head to Old Town. When we arrived, the contact that Brecken sent us to wasn't exactly cooperative at first. Bastard kept denying he knew anything about the Saviors, even after we said we were from the tower. Wasn't until Crane mentioned he's the guy that sliced Rise's hand off that we finally got somewhere. After the guy went in and talked to someone over the radio, he told us to head to the tunnel that used to connect the slums to Old Town and knock on the maintenance door. I don't like the fact we couldn't hear what was being said on the other side of that radio. The tunnel in question was down on the southwest part of the slums, as part of the highway that snakes across the city. Like the rest of the highway, it's littered with Zeds who are those trying to make it out on Chaos Night. Towards the back of the tunnel, we found the door and knocked to find someone waiting to guide us through. Some ways in, we found a small group congregated, and who would we find but fucking Dawood? Though Crane and I started bitching him out, the saviors told us if we didn't mind our own fucking business, we wouldn't get through to Old Town. He's lucky. For now. Turns out, guiding us was only for about 20 yards. They told us that we needed to go it alone from there before opening a way down into the water. The path we needed to follow was marked, and soon enough we found why we had to go in ourselves. The first outdoor area was full of Zeds. A long, narrow strip of area with high walls, lots of Zeds, and a goon guarding the gate we needed to open. Fuck it. I pulled out my explosive arrows and went to town. Towards the end, I saw a bomber on the other side of the gate had come to investigate the noise, so I used it to help kill the goon. I love 2-for-1s. Expectedly, we had to take out more as we continued our way forward till we came across our next problem. Apparently, no one knew Rise had a hold on the Saviors. That's what the conversation we couldn't hear was about. Soon as we fell into a large-ass pooled area, we had guns firing at us from all sides. Our only option was to stay submerged and swim for an access tunnel that led to a small room where we could catch our breath and pull out our own guns. They wanted a firefight, and they sure as hell got one. After clearing the first room out, we continued to follow the markers till they led up into a room and hallway being supported by old brick archways. Stairs led us up to this enclosed outdoor plaza where 3 more idiots were waiting. Since they didn't hear us, it gave me a chance to take them out with 1 arrow. The explosion was magnificent. Crane radioed Brecken to let him know that the Saviors couldn't be trusted, and then we found our way topside. Finally, we were standing in Sector 0. First thing we did was try to contact Jade, but all we got back was crickets. I can't blame her, honestly. We tried Troy next. Back when Crane got the radio towers in the slums working and we finally were contacted from Sector 0, she was the one who spoke with us. She told us to look for a pair of towers with scaffolding and head there. Turns out, just as we had the tower in the slums, they had what they called the loft. Wasting no time, we ran for the loft, which was easy enough with near-constant rooftops leading towards it. When we got there, we met with Troy and her tech guy, Savvy. She could tell we were there looking for Jade, so she contacted her over the radio. Apparently, the bullshit just won't stop because Crane finally revealed why in the hell he came to Haran. A GRE op trying to reclaim a file stolen by Rise. And the Ministry of Defense said something about carpet bombing the fucking city? Fucking hell, this just turned from a shit show to a goddamn train wreck. We have to find Jade and get that research to Camden fast. Savvy told me about how Rise's thugs have been terrorizing survivors in O-Town for a couple of weeks now. By the sounds of it, they've set up 2 bases of operations, one in an office building and another in the old radio station. Seems I have some looting and pillaging of my own to do once we find Jade.